Welcome tributes to JabberCast, a Hunger Games podcast hosted by Jabberjays.net. Today is Friday, June 6, 2014, and you are listening to Episode 5, Uprisings, Real or Not Real. I'm one of your hosts, Crystal, from Honolulu, Hawaii, and I'm joined today by Carla in Germany.
Hello.
Tash in Australia.
G'day.
Kira in Ireland.
Hi.
And today we have a special guest, Joshua Chislett from Joshua Chislett Films.
Hello, hi.
So Joshua is here to talk to us about his Kickstarter campaign, or sorry, Indiegogo campaign for his Finnick Odair fan film, right?
Yep.
Hooray.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about it? I mean, I had heard about your previous one, the Cyrus Quell. I'm really ashamed to say that I haven't watched it, but I mean. I was really impressed with the video that you guys did for the campaign, and so that's what caught my interest. I mean, the little bit that you guys did, I mean, it looked really impressive compared to other fan
really
films.
Professional.
Thank you.
I mean, usually when I see I'm not a big fan of fan films just because a lot of them aren't very good. So when I see a good one, I get really excited. So
yeah.
Well, can you just start off by telling us a little bit about it for anyone who's listening that hasn't heard about your project?
Okay, so I'm working on Finnick Odair's 65th Hunger Games. So pretty much I'm just doing the untold story of what happened in his arena and, you know, getting a little bit more backstory on Finnick's character and why he is the person he is today and how he, you know, learned to be the character he is. And I thought it would be just interesting to see him, you know, when he was thrust into the arena for the first time and, you know, to meet new characters and just to see how, you know, he lived. So I thought that was a fun concept to play with.
So who's going to be playing your Finnick?
Actually, it's my younger cousin, Rocky. I was looking through people, because I put up a casting call online for people, and I realized my cousin, like, he really fits the description perfectly. Kind of a bit like... He's got the tan skin. He's 14 years old. You know, he's very athletic. All I have to do is just dye his hair like the dirty blonde. And like I asked him to. I know, like I talked to him and I'm like, if you don't want to do this, it's not a problem. Like I won't be hurt, but I would really love if you would play my Finnick. And he's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, will you dye your hair? And he's like, okay, yeah, no problem. I'm like, cool, okay. So he's down with it, and I think that's really cool. And I think he'll do a pretty good job with it. And then actually, I casted the last character today, so that was really exciting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So is your cousin a Hunger Games fan?
Fairly, I guess. Like, I mean, I'm kind of the Hunger Games freak of my family. Like, that's my thing.
We all know the feeling.
Yeah, every family has one.
Yeah. I'm like a little bit overdrive with it, but you know, like they all like the movies and the books, and because I made them read them all and stuff. And but Rocky, I don't think he's as big a fan as like the rest of my family is compared to me, but I know he's excited about doing this one.
Well, it's just I thought it was amusing that you said that you asked him, well, would you mind being my Finnick? I mean, it just seems like such a flattering.
It's such a
complaining. Like, I mean, come on, being Finnick, that's a scoring point.
I know.
Oh, exactly. You've set your 14-year-old cousin up with girls for life. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I don't think he really knows like who Finnick really is, but like he knows a simple idea from the movie, but like. I think what I'm going to do is, because we're shooting, I think, in like 3.5 weeks, and I'm going to try and get him to read the books and see if he can get a little bit more, you know, of Finnick's character down on him. But I think he'll do a good job.
So can you tell us, without giving anything away, about any of the other characters?
Okay, so the story is set like a week later in the games, and it's down to the final 5, and he's a part of the career pack, and pretty much it centers around Finnick, District 2, District 1, and District 6, which is his ally, Adela. And, you know, she's made her way into the career pack, you know, since she's not really set as one of the careers, but she somehow made it into the group. And, Finnick somehow has managed to trust this girl to a degree so that way they can, keep alive. She's been able to use her ways of manipulation in the games to keep her way around, especially with the careers. And, it's just the dangers they go through and little things like that. I don't know what else to say without giving away too much. We don't know how it ends.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
So about how long do you anticipate your film ending up being?
I'm hoping around, like right now I think it's going to be about 20 minutes, but I think I'm going to write just a few more scenes in there to make it at least 25, 30 or so. Just because like going through the script, I'm up north right now in the location I'm supposed to be filming. I'm doing location scouting, and I found all the spots that I pretty much want to use, and I realized because daylight is it's like 5 hours longer than where I live, so I get a lot more time to film. And I realized I actually might be able to get everything done on time or even earlier, so I think that's great. That means at least I get to set up my shots on time and take time to really make things look nice. So yeah, I'm up here. I'll be shooting for a week up north, and I think having the script so perfectly fitting for the time being up here, I'll be able to do everything on time and take time to do the things I need for it, and I'll be able to get everything done without rushing.
So is the entire film set in the arena?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just the arena.
Cool.
That sounds pretty exciting.
It does sound.
I just like the idea that you're even going, location scouting. I saw your video for the fundraiser, and it looks so ambitious. That's for me, it's amazing. I mean, you're looking at these places that are so beautiful.
I'm really trying my best to make this one my best project to date. Like, I'm trying to push myself, even though like it's a small project. It's big for me, and coming up here where my dad lives, like getting to go hiking in these places is just absolutely breathtaking. The places that we get to check out, and we just I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago we got our filming permits, so we don't have to worry about like sneaking into the places. Like now we can officially go into the places without worrying about getting kicked out, and we're getting support from the town, with getting like food and stuff and getting some budgeting. So that's nice. And I really want to show off this place because it's so cool and it's different from the books. So I think this is a chance for me to bring my own vision to the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As best I can with the small.
So actually that makes me wonder though, like, do you think it's possible that in Pan Am, like they would have maybe had an arena in Canada? I mean.
Well, I mean, honestly,
I think so.
It looks very much the same as the States in general. Like, it's not snow up here. I mean, it's very, very warm, and there's beautiful forests and the mountains and the rock cliffs and the waterfalls. It's great, and I'm gonna try and show off as much as I can here.
It sounds really exciting, and we can't wait to see it. So, I'm sorry. When do you think you're gonna release this?
Yeah, when's the time frame?
Well, okay, so I'm shooting in about 3.5 weeks for about a week or so, and then it's a very small crew, and the editing will probably be about a month or so. So I'm hoping August.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
Yeah,
that's really impressive.
I mean,
we could get your movie before we get a trailer.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to try my best to get this one down. Like, I mean, Cyrus Quell, when I made that 2 years ago, I took my time with that for sure, because that was my first big project that I actually shot a movie that was like over an hour long, and shooting was like 8 weeks every weekend, and all my friends were just, great for helping out, and, editing I think took a few months just because I got tired for a while because it was just me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, I need help. So I took a month break, and I went up on vacation to Nova Scotia with my family. And then I found some cool scenery, which I ended up including in the movie. And then after that little break, I just fastened it up real quick and released it.
I was such a fan of your first film, especially the trailer. I must have watched that about 50 times.
Oh, wow.
It was so exciting.
I think this one is going to be a lot better. Not like I love Cyrus Quell, how it turned out, but this one I think is going to be my best one, considering how much I'm trying to push this one. So, because like I want this one to be very, very fantastical looking. Like I want this arena to be a little bit more, exotic and more not sci-fi, but like I just really, really want to make it different.
Well, I think I feel like with the quality that you've put out in the past and the topic this time, you have huge potential because I mean, come on, it's Finnick. Yeah. Everybody loves Finnick.
Everybody loves Finnick.
And that's another thing. It's everyone really does love Finnick's character, and he's my favorite character from the books, and I would love to be able to make a story, for his character and make people, kind of think it's headcanon for them, so that way it fits their part of the story.
Yeah, and I think another reason that people love the Finnick that we see in the books, but I mean, to be able to see young Finnick would be something totally just, I don't know, it would be just be such an exciting concept because it's hard to imagine Finnick at 14 and winning the games, I mean, it sounds impressive in your brain, but it's just hard to like imagine it, and so I think if you bring it to life, it'll be something that people get really excited about, Joe.
I think the story is a pretty solid version of what, like, I feel like in the end of it, people be like, okay, you know what, I can actually see that as a plausible story for Finnick's character.
That's what I was going to say too, that it's just good timing because right now we're in between Catching Fire and Mockingjay for the movies, and we see one Finnick in one, and then in Mockingjay we just see a completely different person, and having your film in between the two, it serves kind of as a way for us for people to start wrapping their minds around why Finnick is broken. So
yes, good point.
I think it's just good timing too.
Yeah, I think I nailed that one too. Pretty good. See, originally what I was going to do with this one, I was actually going to my friend Christian, the guy who played Cyrus. He was over at my house on Christmas, and we were just talking like as a joke to remake the end of Cyrus Quell to see how like far we've come since then. And then I wrote it down, and then I just kept writing, and then it ended up turning into Finnick's story, and then it just completely flipped over into a new story, and I was like, I gotta have this, I gotta do this, I gotta do it, and then I talked to my dad about shooting up here, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. So I'm just hoping my Indiegogo picks up, and we can, because I mean really the main part of it is just getting us up here because it's 13 hours north and it's a far drive to get up here, but it's all worth it in the end once you get to see how beautiful it is here.
So for those of us, if people listening haven't had a look, how do we find you on Indiegogo? How long's your campaign got to go?
Okay, well,
how far along are you with your target? Like,
right now we've raised about over $700. My goal is 5,000, and we have 22 days left on the campaign. If you look me up on YouTube or Facebook, YouTube, just my name, Joshua Chislett, or Facebook, Joshua Chislett Films. On my Facebook, I pretty much post it twice a day, so that's the easiest spot to find my Indiegogo. But if you just Google like Indiegogo, Finnick Odair, a Hunger Games fan film, that's the easiest way to find it. I can't figure out the link because it's, all hyperlinked stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the easiest way to find it. If you just look up Finnick Odair, a Hunger Games fan film.
Excellent. Well, fingers crossed we can get a bit more funny happening.
Have you already got a trident ready to film?
Actually, what's really funny is before I got on this, we're just doing the wooden cutout right now to use as a stencil for the steel we're cutting out.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we were like literally just making it like 15 minutes ago. So, yeah, and I ordered the last of the costumes online, and we're just doing our best to get everything done, prepped in 3 weeks. And I just designed a new cornucopia the other day, and it's really cool. Like I just had this little spurt of like Picasso artness in my head, and so the one in my Indiegogo is not the one I'm going to use, but this one is a little bit more like this kind of huge skeleton rib cage type one, and
wow.
it's very different, and I want it to have that post-apocalyptic feel to it, so it's almost like it's rusted with vines on it. I just think, because the place we're putting it in, I want to make it huge. I just want to make it like a big abandoned monument, and I think that would make it very menacing.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds really fantastic.
So can I just say that I thought that your the thing in the sky, your district thing, I thought that was actually more impressive than the one in the films.
That's true.
That was one of the things.
Really good.
Yeah, I was playing around with it a few weeks ago, and I was like, I can't make this like the movies. I gotta make this my own. And then I started playing with the look of it, and then I wanted to give it this like, sort of fantastical like nebula look to it, and really colorful and crazy looking. And then I came up with that. I'm like, that is so cool.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Put that in there. Yeah. So that'll be cool. I want like everything in the short film to have a very intense look to it, like just to make it very, very different looking. It'll be a challenge. I'm up for it.
Well, I mean, we wish you the best of luck with your production and your campaign and everything. We can't wait to see it. So we'll put links for people for them to easily click to, and hopefully that'll get you some more funding, some more exposure and things like that. And that'd
be fantastic. Thank you.
And so we have a bunch of other topics to talk about, and I had mentioned it to you, and you said you would be willing to stay and talk with us about that. So we'd be very happy to have you to discuss the rest of our topics. So
if I can try, the topics you put down, I can definitely try my best to keep up with them, but I might not have the best of answers for
I never do.
Yeah, me neither. Not at 7 in the morning.
One more question, Josh. Are you planning on doing more Hunger Games films in the future? If an idea pops in your head?
Cyrus Coil was supposed to be my last one, and then this ended up being my final Hunger Games, because I feel like I gotta move on, I gotta do something, but who knows? This one right now is my last, but I mean, with my pace, who knows? I could be making chaps or something. But I think this one right now will be my last one.
Well, unless this Christmas you start rewriting the ending for this one and it turns into something else.
It could happen, but I think this one will be my final bang, boom, cannon boom.
We can't wait to see it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to get going on it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk a bit about the Berlin set photos, even though there haven't been very many. I mean, not compared, at least compared to Paris. I mean, Paris was kind of crazy just because it was in a residential complex. So everybody that lived there was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take pictures and take video. And, we got
this is the best street theater ever.
Yeah.
That was just kind of amazing. I mean, it was just like everybody was like living around their set, basically, right? I mean... Anyway, for Berlin, we've had some people, some readers, some very brave readers.
Very intrepid readers, really.
And we're talking people that are willing to jump fences here. So
I should defend the people of the city. Like, really, when compared to Paris, it's totally not the same thing. So it's not that people in Berlin aren't excited about the movie. They are. It's just, they're filming in this huge airport surrounded by, fences and walls, and the entrance is gated, and they have security. So, it's not something you just walk into and take pictures. So that's why.
But I mean, we have been getting set photos, and it's been pretty cool. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of photos of the actual cast or filming or anything like that. But I mean, we've seen like military vehicles, and the most interesting one was the wreckage of District 2, right? I mean, we saw the District 2 sign, and it's all like rubble and things like that. So we know they're filming District 2 for sure. I don't think we've seen Gwendolyn Christie seen around Berlin yet. I mean, I keep waiting for pictures of her to pop up, but I don't know if she's in hiding or...
Yeah. It's pretty hard for her to hide, isn't she? Like 6 foot.
She's really tall.
Yeah. Yeah, but then they have District 2, but then they also have District 8.
Yeah.
Because Miller is there, so, might be filming out of order. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Patina Miller went to Berlin, and I have a hard time believing that's a coincidence that she just decided to, go vacation in Berlin when they're filming Hunger Games.
No. She was at the hotel with the rest.
Oh, she was. Okay.
Yeah. Fans have taken pictures with her when she was coming out.
So we just reread Chapter 7 for Through the Pages, and that actually gave details about what they could be filming in Berlin. I think that they did like the hospital stuff in Atlanta. I think that's done already.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there's the rooftop thing, like
chemical plant.
Like when
the chemical. Yeah.
When Katniss
really
when Katniss shakes off Boggs and Gale kicks him in the face,
yeah,
they go to the rooftop, right? And Paler's up there, right? And so
yes.
I think that's probably what she's there for.
Cool. Yep. And
How
there was a
long
cast
are they
photo
in?
that had
Sorry.
Wes and that in it too.
Oh yeah,
She goes. Yeah.
How long are they in Berlin for? Because technically, won't they like be wrapping Mockingjay completely soon?
Yeah, I think like
gotta be
around the
close.
end of this month. I think when Jeffrey did that LA Times interview, he said they had about a month left. And he did that last week. Yeah.
Mm.
That long? I thought it was just like maybe a couple of weeks, but I guess not.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of
And
scary.
then-
I mean, it's almost over. They're going to
The
be
franchise is
done.
almost in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scary thought.
Oh God.
Okay, so going back to the set thing, one of the people that we've seen in set photos is Woody Harrelson. So, I mean, in Mockingjay, the book, Haymitch remains in a hovercraft, or he remains in District 13. He's never like on the ground with Katniss, so we're thinking probably movie changes from the book to the movie. Putting Haymitch.
I think he could possibly just be reading his lines, in a different place.
Possibly.
It would just be handy to have the actor there so that you could perform with Woody's voice. It's not unheard of.
They did have the hovercraft there though. Like maybe they're just filming hovercrafts here for some reason. I don't know.
Well, there was a set picture of the chairs,
Yeah, exactly.
so that would make sense.
Or I don't know. I mean, I was also thinking because Josh is in Berlin right now too. Like before he,
Yes.
well, at the beginning he was in Madrid, but then he flew into Berlin, and I'm also wondering like what he's doing here. I mean, if they're filming 8 and District 2, then really there's no reason for him to be there. But then I just start thinking maybe they just came to spend the last few days of filming with the rest of the cast. Come on, they have the money.
I mean, they might have just accelerated when Peeta joins them. I mean, they might have accelerated because she doesn't have her Star Squad 451 at the very start, right?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
That's for later. Like Jackson doesn't come in until later, but I mean, it's possible that they just bring them all in earlier, and like they're all in District 2, they're all in District 8 or whatever.
Here too, and
Yeah.
But I mean, in District 8, she's supposed to have like Natalie Dormer would be here, and Evan Ross, and the camera crew, but not the rest of the squad.
Yeah,
so.
That's true.
Is there not a scene, I can't remember, when Katniss is in District 2 and Haymitch calls her, tell her that Peeta is improving, or he hears a song or something? That happens, right? I didn't just make that up.
I think so. It sounds familiar, but
Something he remembers a song, but he remembers her singing something.
He just gives her like some kind of quick update or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they've turned that into a scene.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Maybe.
I was also thinking that maybe Haymitch was just there for like the meeting at the Nut or something.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he won't be there for the fighting, but maybe he's in the meeting. I don't know.
Yeah, they must be there somewhere, because otherwise you would just film all of that stuff in Atlanta, because it's just easier.
Cheaper.
Rather than just fly Josh and Woody and everybody over to Berlin.
I suppose though if they were already there all there for Paris, like you said, if they're doing reads and stuff, it's not
Yeah,
like.
but I mean, I don't know.
You just hop into the next country.
Now that I think about it,
I don't think they bought EasyJet flights. I think they would be first class somewhere.
And now that I think about it, why is Jeffrey Wright in Berlin?
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
What are they filming that they need so many people that aren't in?
What's happening?
That's right, because he said that in his LA Times interview that he was in his trailer at Tempelhof.
Yeah, he was in Tempelhof. I mean, as far as we've seen, they only have the District 2 set, unless they have something else inside that we haven't seen, which would be kind of cool, honestly.
I mean, it might make more sense for all of them to move, like, from District 13 to wherever they're fighting, instead of, like, like always flying back and forth kind of thing. That might just be too confusing for people, right?
Maybe they have, like, a hovercraft base where, BT and Haymitch are giving instructions.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like, because I don't know if you guys read ahead to Chapter 8 yet, because there's that scene after the whole District 8 thing where Haymitch comes and he threatens Katniss, saying that he's going to have her earpiece implanted into her head. I mean, it would make a lot more sense if, after District 8, they took her to like a medic tent that was like right there, and like he's there already, like all pissed off at her, instead of like, let's all go all the way back to the 13 and then we can have this scene. I don't know. I think all the back and forth might be confusing. So.
Yeah. Good point.
So we can hope that's what they're doing, I guess.
Maybe they just want to confuse us. Maybe it's deliberate.
Yeah.
I don't think Lionsgate are that witty. Sat on Twitter going,
You never know.
Well, I trust Francis Lawrence, though. Like, maybe not Lionsgate, but I trust Francis. So.
I'm sure there's something awesome in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There must be a reason why they're on location. Why this wasn't. If it is a scene that happens in parallel to scenes that are happening in District 2, I don't know why that couldn't have been filmed in Atlanta. So there must be a reason why they're on location.
Yeah.
Maybe they just got very nice setting there somewhere. I don't know.
Joshua, are you still there?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to think of ways to like.
Let's get your perspective, since you're an actual filmmaker. So let's get your perspective on things.
He has no perspective. He's as clueless as us.
Like, would you film something on location if you could otherwise film it on a soundstage close to home where you don't have to travel and spend tons of money?
Much cheaper.
I would like to shoot on location just because it's much more fun and real, but because I don't really work with a lot of budgets, if it's cheaper for me, I would do the cheaper route, but if I had the budget, I would go.
What's the budget for these movies? Do we know?
I think it's $250 for both Mockingjays.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Both combined or $250?
Both combined.
Oh, okay.
Is that more than Catching Fire? I can't remember.
It is more.
I can't remember what Catching Fire's budget was.
I think Catching Fire was like $130, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot more.
But then it's more. Huh. And the movies are going to be shorter too, so that's interesting. Huh.
They're going to be shorter? How much?
I don't. They haven't said yet, but Francis Lawrence said that they would be shorter because both the first two movies were like insanely long. So.
I didn't find them insanely long.
No, I didn't find that way. But when I looked at the number, I was like, God, I've been sitting here for 2.5 hours.
I remember when I first saw The Hunger Games in LA at the premiere. I was just like, I blinked and the movie was over. Oh.
Yeah, that's what it felt like for me watching Catching Fire, because I was so excited.
It was really like a heart-pounding kind of film. That's why, I mean, it just goes from one thing to another, and then before you know it, it's just over, and you're just like, what?
That's someone actually said that whenever I watched it at the press screening in London. At the end, whenever it just fades to, well, it doesn't even fade, it just cuts to black with "There is no District 12." Someone like 5 seats behind me just went, "What?"
That's actually the okay, so I told you guys that my daughter is reading Hunger Games, right? So she just finished Catching Fire last week. And so we all know how the book ends, right? So
Right.
she comes to me and she's like, "Mommy, what does he mean?" And I was like, "Oh." I didn't really know what to say. I mean, it's just oh.
It's gonna be sad when she reads the end of Mockingjay.
Yeah. Oh boy. She's only
Suzanne
10,
Collins,
so I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna make it to the Mockingjay just yet. She might stop a little halfway through or something when it gets a little too violent. Because I remember Mockingjay being pretty dark and different and violent. It's very different from the other two.
Melted by lasers.
I know.
Well, that book
If that's not
Yeah.
brutal.
Plus, Katniss is in a very dark place for all of that book.
Yeah.
She's drugged out most of the time too.
As the others
Yeah.
for a little, probably.
Yeah, it's not exactly a cheery affair, Mockingjay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No.
That's what I'm wondering about the movies. Do you think they'll try and inject humor into it? Please, God, no.
I don't think so. I think they're going to go the action side.
I feel like there's a place.
That'll break up the misery.
I feel like there's a place here and there for humor, like I mean, I was just talking about that Haymitch and the earpiece kind of thing. I mean, there's that kind of
funny.
humor, but I don't think it'll be like ha ha ha, that was so funny kind of thing.
No,
but there will be amusing points. So
I feel like it'll go more the action route.
Yeah.
Because you can't show too much of Katniss being depressed, otherwise the movie will just kind of drag.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll have New Moon all over again. Please don't.
Oh, please no. Please no. That's like the worst book I've ever read, almost.
I know.
Yeah.
I never read it.
Well, don't.
Good for you, Kira.
Stick to that.
Like, if you can imagine how you felt when you were, like, 14 and you just got dumped by a guy, and how you feel for, like, the 2-week period after that, that's basically what that book was in about 400 pages.
Where you sit in your pajamas, eat cereal.
Except she was crying for, like, months.
Yes, it was really bad. I feel like it was like just a huge chunk of the book was about this hole in her chest. Like that was literally what she described it as, is this hole in her chest. You know,
what a wonderful example for 14-year-old girls everywhere. Just mope around when your man leaves.
It kind of put it in perspective, though. Put it in perspective when you have that versus Katniss. Katniss is depressed. You know, her boyfriend is being tortured somewhere. And she misses him. She's depressed, and then she gets up and says, "Okay, I'm gonna go and fight."
Yeah, and then goes, "I never met him anyway."
See, that's what you should do. When you get dumped, you go do something else.
You just go screw him.
You don't sit at your window for a whole summer.
I was so happy when the movie shortened it, and I mean, it was still horrible to watch, but. At least it was shorter than in the book.
Yes. Although I will give Stephanie Meyer credit for doing the whole blank page thing. I don't know if you guys remember that from the book, those of you that read it. I feel like you turn the chapter and the page was blank or something, right? And then you turn the page again and it's blank because, like, there's just this nothingness in her life.
I quite like that, actually.
Yeah, I thought that was really good.
Idea.
That was a really good way to put it all into.
It was just hollow.
Yeah, you know, that was really good. But after that, she just kept going. She put many words into that hollow feeling after that. So that's where it dragged on. Anyway, let's get off the topic.
That was tangent number 1.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the exhibition, which last week Lionsgate announced. They're going to be doing an educational exhibition kind of tour for the Hunger Games in 2015. It's called the Hunger Games Exhibition, and this is their sort of their feeler for a theme park idea, right?
Well,
and I had actually missed that in the press release.
Yeah, I find it very annoying that everybody's still focusing on the theme park thing. Like, okay, you have they released the press release was there, and the whole thing was about the exhibition, and everybody, like every news outlet out there, just went straight to the paragraph about the theme park.
Yeah, like, oh my god, theme park.
Yeah, and I'm just like, why are you not talking about the exhibition?
Yeah, because the exhibition sounds like a really awesome idea.
Yeah. It sounds brilliant, but it's mired in this nonsense of please, please, please don't do a theme park. Because that is a terrible, terrible idea.
Well, I mean, we say that, but I mean, we all remember the response that we got for the World of Panem, which was our April Fool's joke. I mean, people were...
Should probably explain that to Josh.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm missing out there.
It's probably our fault.
So, for our April Fool's joke, we made this, like, one of our staffers, Grant, made this graphic of a theme park called the World of... Oh, that's right. Today's his birthday. Yeah, so he made this really pretty cool graphic of like roller coasters and things in the back of like some capital image, and we called it the World of Panem, and we said that there was going to be a theme park, and we thought people were going to be like, no, this is terrible. But people were so freaking excited. They were like talking about...
It's like, it would be so... It is so like against the book's idea, but then again, there's the idea of like, it would be kind of neat to be able to rise up through that tube into your own theme park arena, just to have like
my god!
And just back at someone with a plastic sword or something.
I don't know. I mean, like, I think that'd be fun, but then again, there's the idea. It's like, oh, well, that's against the book's message. Oh, I can't do that.
Do you mean like Hunger Games laser tag?
Oh my god!
Yeah, but like almost like flag football, but like killing, but not really.
And the fun thing is that if you're, age 12 and above, you can play. So I could technically take out a 12-year-old.
Oh my god.
It's such a terrible idea.
And you know how like they have like those medieval feasts where you like sit there and you eat medieval food and you watch the people joust and stuff like that? I can just imagine something similar where like you watch people in like some fake arena battle and you're eating capital food and stuff.
Well, that would be very, very Rome kind of thing, which I guess it's good because it was the inspiration for the whole Hunger Games.
And you get to bet as well.
Yeah.
Massive betting pool. I fancy that 14-year-old from Wisconsin.
For $50, you can dress up like Effie.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's a terrible idea.
For an additional $25, you can take your picture. But yeah, so people were like freaking out over the idea. They were like, people from other countries were talking about how they were going to vacation in the United States just to go to this theme park because we had said it was going to be at Six Flags in New Jersey, and just.
But didn't they write something terrible about? You could, something with the dead or something.
Yeah, we put something about how they're not liable for deaths or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
we thought it was pretty obvious that it was fake because I mean with April Fool's jokes you have to put some kind of thing that clues people in, otherwise it gets a little out of hand, but people took it pretty seriously, so
I don't think they even read the death paragraph, honestly.
Yeah, it's not liable for any deaths. That's fantastic.
Grant actually found like some question on Yahoo Answers recently asking.
That's right.
Yeah. They were asking about the whole deaths thing and saying, are they serious? And we're just like, oh my god, it's still going on.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Grant.
No, that's a bad idea. Let's just stick with the exhibition, Lionsgate, please.
I mean, Susan Collins even touches upon it herself, right? She mentions, I think in the Hunger Games, that the Capitol has tours of past arenas and things like that, where you can go visit the launch rooms and things like that. And I remember that really creeping me out. And so when I think theme park, that's what I think of. I think of people touring where people were just before they died, kind of thing. It's just, I mean, I can see like it being like a historical site where you go to remember people, but not a park.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they do it in the way where it's like you think you're going for fun, but they give you the real message of the books after and make you feel super bad about going, but they still take your money.
Oh, that would be great.
But you can't do that with most
And see, that would be fun, but then it's like, oh, you ruined your fun after.
Oh, I feel terrible now.
So
but then it's like...
That's the thing. But
That's
on
a
the other
brilliant
hand,
idea.
Hey, thanks for your money, but you're a terrible person.
Exactly.
Just shame you.
on the other hand, though, the exhibition is a good idea because even though you're still, shilling out money to go see stuff that was used in the Hunger Games, it's more of a, it's more of a
an
cinema
interest kind of thing, right?
Yeah. It's like you get to learn how they made the movies. It's not about like propping up the world itself of the Hunger Games, but so much like going to see how one of your favorite movies was made. So I think that's a good thing.
What happened to that place? Do you remember the place they filmed in North Carolina that was up for sale? That they filmed the Hunger Games
the
district.
Henry River Mills Village.
Yeah,
they sold it, didn't they?
I don't think they sold it. I don't remember, but I don't think they did.
It was on Hollywood Treasure, which is one of my favorite TV shows these days.
Yeah.
It's not on anymore, but I watch the repeats and it's just amazing. But no, that would be a good place if someone bought it as like you could, sell tickets and go in to see it because I'd like to see where they filmed.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to go and see something like that. So.
Don't they do that already?
I don't know.
They do tours in the arena where they filmed the arena.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the DuPont,
I don't know if they've got rights to the village
Park
still.
or something.
Yeah, the natural park.
Yeah.
That would be cool to visit.
Nature park. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the other thing they announced was the mobile game. They're gonna have a new mobile game in collaboration with Kabam, and
mobile
for all.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, mobile. Mobile is a petrol station. I know what
you're talking about there. I was like, what?
In Germany, it's handy.
But yeah, so I went and I looked at because they mentioned in the press release their Hobbit game or not? Yeah, was it the Hobbit? It was some mobile game tied in with the Hobbit, some kingdoms of Middle Earth kind of game, and oh my god, the graphics were really nice. So I don't know, I'm really looking forward to this one, although I am kind of worried about the addiction factor just because it's a card collectible kind of strategy game. So I can see myself getting like
how's it different to like the Hunger Games Adventures or Pan Am Run, which I've never played.
I mean, Pan Am Run is a specific type of game, it's like the endless. What is it called? Endless. Is it endless running? Oh, it's like Temple Run or Minion Run, things like that. And that's not really my kind of game. I mean, my kids played it more than I did, so. But I think this one is a card collecting and it's a strategy game, so.
Yeah.
Well, let me know when they make a Hunger Games Mario Kart, because that's what I would play.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Can you imagine,
throw tridents at the person in front of you?
Like the road would actually be part of the arena, and you would go around running to the other person.
Oh my goodness!
Race to the cornucopia. Got it.
Instead of a blue shell, you just throw a poisonous berry at someone.
Yeah.
It would be cool if you to shut the game off, you say Nightlock.
As long as it didn't explode.
Listen to us. These are the ideas that we're throwing at your way, so,
The first one's for free. You have to pay for the rest.
Just pay us the royalties. We get 1 cent every one you sell.
Yeah.
Okay,
10 cents.
So our episode title is Uprisings, Real or Not Real? And so there was this story earlier this week about how there was a military coup in Thailand on, I think, May 22nd. And then the people of Thailand, to protest their opposition to it, have adopted the three-fingered salute from Hunger Games. And
really?
It's something that...
Wow.
It's just...
It's equally scary and humble.
Yeah.
It's
Kind
humbling.
of makes it too real almost.
I know, exactly.
Yeah,
You read it and you're like, wow, that's really cool of them to like, speak out in like, a peaceful, silent kind of way, but at the same time it's just kind of scary, I mean.
Oh, God.
The way it almost
Terrifying.
makes the movies dangerous.
Yeah. But see, I was worried about that when I first saw it, about the movies coming across as, inciting rebellion or whatever, especially after the shooting. So, like, it just, at first glance, it just scared me, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I think the scariest part for me is that they're actually talking about, I don't know if they've actually banned it yet, but they were talking about banning it, and they were saying that they're going to be arresting people for using it because, I mean...
Yeah, when they're in groups, I think.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be grouping in people of 5 or more or something, and they can be detained for up to a week for doing that, and it's just very Hunger Games or Panem come to life, it's just...
Very much so.
I mean, we always talk about how, like, this is a fictional thing. Hopefully it'll never come to pass. But then you see that, these kinds of things are already going on in our world. So, I mean,
particularly there and the Ukraine as well. So,
yeah.
Yep.
It actually...
whenever you see a rebellion... Oh.
Go ahead, Joshua.
Oh, and I was going to say, well, whenever a rebellion comes out soon and they're holding up the Mockingjay symbol, there's something going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know that these movies have actually, and books, have travelled very far. The books more so. I'd love to know what Suzanne Collins thinks about.
I know, it's something that she doesn't do more interviews. Because I really want to see things.
Every time I hear Suzanne Collins say anything, I get ridiculously excited. Because it's so, it never happens. And you're like, oh, Suzanne Collins said something.
Is there a reason she doesn't do many video interviews? Like, I know she doesn't like on-set stuff, but I mean, I think because it's such a phenomenon now.
I think she's just a very private person.
Yeah.
I was actually wondering I was wondering personally what Donald Sutherland would have to say about it, because I've heard him, and maybe that's right. In fact, we've heard him say that, they expect these, or they hope that these movies will, inspire a generation to fight for what they believe in. So, here it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, the scary part aside, that's actually what seems to be good about this is that, I mean, people are using it and adopting it for a cause that's very similar to the book, and so it just, I don't know, it feels good at the same time as that it's scary too, so...
Yeah.
Plus, it's kind of amazing that clearly that started from at least, a few fans who really love those books, and somehow it's spread across the country now, and that's quite amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I really don't think that most of the people using it understand.
Yeah,
like
I don't think anyone
can. Eventually it just spread, but when it started, it had to come from someone who knew.
Yeah, it must have come from.
Obviously, they're not doing the Boy Scout sign. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So in a little less serious uprising, there's the fan uprising.
Yeah.
So
that's happening right now.
A lot less serious.
Okay,
great
so
segue, Crystal.
The not real part of the...
Yeah, the real or not real. Yeah. So we did the real, now we're going to do the not real. I mean, it's real, but it's not quite as important, or,
in the grand scheme of things.
It's like a first world problem kind of...
uprising. Problems. Hashtag.
So, okay, so we talked about this on our last podcast episode, that 3 weeks ago, which actually when you say 3 weeks ago is quite a long time. 3 weeks ago, they gave us the first look at Mockingjay with President Coin and, the stills and the contest and stuff like that. But that's all they've done in the last 3 weeks, other than announce the exhibition and the game.
And they just keep rehashing it over and over.
I know. And so every time they ask people on Twitter, what's your favorite exclusive first look? Or here's a still of BT, and then people, you just look at the Twitter replies, and people are just like,
it's old news now.
There's this rage. There's this rage that just comes out of people whenever they tweet something or put something on Facebook or Instagram. I mean, apparently they started deleting comments too on Instagram.
Which sounds a bit crazy because most people are asking where's the trailer. And I just think, most films on the Hollywood roster of this year should be so lucky to have people begging for a trailer.
Yes.
So why would you delete that?
I don't
That's
know.
like a sign of greatness. They're like, look, they all want a trailer.
Yeah.
So they're deleting those comments. That just is insanity.
Yep.
So I just
people are going insane.
Yeah, I mean, even whenever they put on Facebook and it's just everywhere they posted, people just reply back with anger.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, okay, so we're gonna start this new thing called TweetTalk, basically where we take questions from people on Twitter, and one of the questions was I lost it. I thought I put it in here, but I guess I didn't. But he was basically asking if we thought that there was any logical reason for them to have... Is
there any reason you can think of for not releasing a trailer? Do they not have enough footage? Do they want to hold back?
Oh, it's clear. It's just a marketing thing. It's to hold it for as long as possible and then excite the pants off you. They clearly have enough footage. They've been filmed for months.
I still think it's X-Men.
No!
Yes.
So come on, it's been
out for like 2 weeks.
I still think it's X-Men.
No,
I still feel like, Fox was like, our movie is going to come out on the 24th, but you can't talk about, you can't start putting Jennifer Lawrence on Mockingjay posters until like 3 or 4 weeks, after our movie comes out,
You make it sound like as if they're angry. It would have been a nice agreement.
Yeah.
I don't
make it sound like as if Fox is like, no, you can't.
No, I don't feel like it's all nicey nice between studios, especially when you're talking about a big six studio and Lionsgate. I mean, I feel like there's animosity there, and they're going to be like, haha, we have her under contract, and you can't use her for your baby yet. So, I don't know. I just feel like it's more like that. I guess I'm more cynical about it, so...
Well, I mean, technically, if Jennifer Lawrence appears in anything, it's still good for Fox and X-Men.
Yes.
So it's not like it would hurt them.
I don't know.
Jennifer Lawrence, I love her. Oh, she's in the cinemas right now in X-Men.
Well, don't you think it's weird that ever since like Catching Fire, there has been absolutely nothing in promotional marketing other than Jennifer Lawrence going to Cannes. There's been no posters, there's been no teasers, there's been no stills. There's no Jennifer Lawrence in anything Mockingjay ever since Catching Fire.
I have to disagree though, and I like the question we got on Twitter, because I honestly, right now, after seeing all the pictures from the sets here in Europe, I honestly think it's the footage, honestly, because like I said before, I really think they're going to try to push the action for the movie. Like, that's going to be the hook for people. They can't have a trailer. They can't have a trailer if this Katniss sitting there being depressed. They need something to fill it up. And if you look at the Catching Fire teaser trailer, which was more like an actual full trailer, it had the central, the conflict in there. Like, it had the Gale's whipping, and it had the District 11 scenes. Like, those were the big ones for the first half of the book. And I think for Mockingjay Part 1, you need some sort of action hook, and they didn't have that until now.
So you think
honestly,
I don't know. I feel like...
You think the biggest set pieces are being filmed now, and they want that?
I think so. I mean,
the missing link
honestly, I can't see any other.
That doesn't really explain why there's been no stills of Jennifer Lawrence in Mockingjay, though. I mean, surely they have something. I mean, they had to have wrapped up most of Mockingjay, right?
Yeah.
Could give us stills, but...
You see, I think there's just a massive difference with Mockingjay Part 1, because I think after the Hunger Games, they had to keep that excitement up for Catching Fire, because they had like a year and a half.
Yeah, that was 20 months. It was crazy.
Yeah, and they probably, have low respect for teenagers and think they'll forget by then. So we'll just pump them with stuff for all of 2013 so that they remember Catching Fire is coming out. But Catching Fire just came out in November, and The Hunger Games is still very, very popular. I think they don't even need to promote it, to be honest.
come on, that's just lazy. Like I was looking.
That's just lazy.
I was looking this morning through the trailers for How to Train Your Dragon 2 because it's coming out soon. So I was looking through the trailers that they have released, and come on, the first trailer for that movie was something like 10 months ago.
Yeah. But keep in mind, How to Train Your Dragon came out in like 2010.
Yeah, it's been a while, but come on, it's for kids. I mean, you can't tell me that they don't trust the memory of teenagers when a movie for kids, come on.
Yeah. I don't know,
Especially considering that they've had like a few years to get to know the fan base by now and know that a lot of us are pretty crazy about the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
keep
getting
in mind that marking also costs money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was it only if the first film got its like if it got a good box office, they were only going to do the second one? I mean, they were only going to do the sequels after the first one's success, and if it didn't, they wouldn't have even done it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, you guys have a good point. I feel like maybe like they looked at how much they spent with Capital Couture and like developing everything over the course of those 20 months, and they just thought, oh, that was just way too much money.
That was crazy.
But they made it back. Come on.
Yeah. They definitely did. Well, I do think Mockingjay doesn't even need it. Because I think Catching Fire is still up in the air. It's still very popular. It's still talked about in certain things. So I don't think... I think by July, Comic-Con, if there's nothing by August, then we can go, right, what the hell is going on?
But it's just, I mean, there are movies that don't need that push. I get it. But it just feels lazy to me. Because, I mean, Star Wars 7, it's just started filming. And, like, there's tons of stuff going around on Twitter. Like, people are just waiting for anything to come out, and they know that, so they're using that. So why is
Star Wars,
you know?
But
Star Wars is the biggest cinematic.
I just feel like there's that cool factor too. I mean, you want to have a cool teaser out there to have everybody like freaking out about, and then like it dies down, and then you come up with your full trailer. It's just
you need the timing.
Yeah,
but because if you push it all too close, then it just gets lost.
Yeah.
Because they don't need the fans. They need the kind of casual cinema goers who are like, oh, I like the first two. And they're like, oh, the next one looks pretty cool. That's the people that they want to bring in.
Yeah.
Exactly. The fans are going to go 20 times no matter what.
Yeah, of course.
I still think there'll be something this month, though. Whether it's another episode of...
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be something this month.
Was it now exclusive?
For the last 2 months. Have you realized that?
What?
Yeah, I know.
We've been saying that for the last 2. We've been saying that since.
I know, but
I have
rolls around, and we're like, oh, surely the MTV Awards, nothing. And then it's like, oh, well, it's May. Surely it has to be something, nothing. And then now.
Okay, but now we're under 6 months.
It'll just be like, it's Halloween. Surely there'll be something.
Totally. Like 2 weeks before the movie. Oh, great. No, but see, the thing is, you can see it in people that not only are they getting angry, they're just basically losing hope. Like we had it ourselves. Who was it, Grant or Corey? I don't remember. Who asked, why did we not include Comic-Con in our poll about the trailer? Remember? And we're like, well, we're hoping that there will be something before Comic-Con.
And it didn't even enter my mind. It didn't even enter my mind that they wouldn't have something before Comic-Con, because Comic-Con is too late. It's like mid-July. That's like...
Maybe they're just waiting for Comic-Con.
Maybe this month it's confirmation that they're going to Comic-Con.
That's the thing, that they're just losing hope for anything until Comic-Con. But that's kind of sad at the same time, Like...
That would really piss me off, because they... Excuse my French. I say this every episode. They bollocked up, the whole Catching Fire thing at Comic-Con, and if they pulled out great stops and I'm not there this year, I'm going to be so annoyed. I'm actually going to cry.
I'm no offense to Divergent fans, but I completely blame Divergent for that whole trailer thing, because so what it was what we're upset about is that they actually debuted the trailer online, before they did in Hall H, which we had camped out overnight for. We all flew to San Diego to watch this trailer first, in the world.
Which was supposed to be
first
at Comic-Con.
and they played it half an hour early online, and we were just like, what the hell?
I felt like invoicing them my British Airways flights. Going, you owe me.
Yeah.
But actually, what I think it is that because the panel for Lionsgate started at the top of the hour, and what it was half Divergent, half Hunger Games, and Hunger Games was in the second half. And so what I think happened is that Yahoo was like, oh, Lionsgate's doing their thing now. They started, so we can release it now.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, we were sitting through a Divergent panel. And it went overtime too.
We were seeing through I, Frankenstein. It wasn't Divergent.
Yeah, Divergent was on 2 days earlier.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No,
we sat through I, Frankenstein and some other piece of crap.
That's right. It was I, Frankenstein. See, that's even worse.
Yeah, it's even worse. It was I, Frankenstein.
But I know what went on because Yahoo had the website where they were going to show the trailer. It was announced I don't know, 2 weeks in advance or something that they would have the trailer there, and they had a countdown. But the countdown was set to the beginning of the Lionsgate panel. So
it was I, Frankenstein's fault. And they went over. I couldn't believe that they went over. When the half an hour was up and they were still talking, I was like, get these freaking people off the stage.
I'm pretty sure they knew they were too early, but they couldn't just leave people hanging for half an hour with the counter down to 0. That would have been bad for Yahoo, so I'm guessing
that's miscommunication there, and that really upset all the people that had gone.
Yeah, but then how do you know? Because like you said, I, Frankenstein went over. How do you control that?
I just think that they should have put Hunger Games first. That's all.
Yeah, I just remember there was a guy sat in front. I think I was sat beside you, Tash. There was a guy sat in front of us from Slash Film.
Yes.
He was called Bob from Canada. He just went, "Oh, Catching Fire trailer's out," and I was like, "Wait, what? What?" I was like, "Why are we sitting here?"
I saw Carla's tweet to us, and I was just like, "What?" Yes. I was like, "What?"
I remember I sent out a message trailer's out, and you guys are like, what?
I didn't sleep last night.
Right. Yes,
well, we did sleep, but we slept on the grass where there were bugs and things.
I slept during the I, Frankenstein panel.
That's where you caught up.
It was. I just loved how they said, it's Lionsgate, and everyone started clapping yay! And then they went I, Frankenstein, and everyone kind of went,
oh.
Yeah. The applause really died down.
I didn't know anything about I, Frankenstein other than Aaron Eckhart was in it, but when they started showing the footage, I was like, well, this looks crap. And then I was just so annoyed. I was like, why am I sat here?
It's got 4% in Rotten Tomatoes. 4%.
Oh, really? Oh, 4.
Oh, wow.
I think that was actually the movie where they put on their Facebook page some glowing review, but it was some random person on Twitter, and I was like, that's really bad.
That's really bad.
That's brilliant.
It was so obviously so uninteresting that everyone kept asking. I forget what the lady's name was, but they just kept asking her Dexter questions.
Oh, Yvonne something or other.
Yeah.
She
kept trying to say, "Oh, let's talk about this movie," and everyone's like, "No, we don't want to talk about this movie."
Yeah, this movie looks shit. Let's talk about Dexter.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to bleep that out.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Because it was shit.
Tash said it again.
Yeah.
Not helping.
Sorry, a tattletale there. Tash. Ooh, Tash said it.
No, but I really wish when they release a trailer that they would just release it on their own. Because if there's something I learned from Catfire marketing is that this whole collaboration with other sites, it never works.
No.
Never. Because remember for the posters for
yes,
the
Katniss's one, it was leaked by Microsoft.
Very early.
For this?
Yep.
What happened?
Okay, you know those Capitol portraits?
Yeah.
The one of Katniss in the wedding dress with that chair?
Yeah.
Somebody at MSN leaked an image. They snapped a picture on their phone and posted it online, and people got a hold of it. And I was like, that's fake. No way. I was just like, no way.
Later.
And then turns out it was real. You know, like I remember Camille sent it to me, and I was like, no, that's fake. That's fake.
I remember before we found a picture on Tumblr of Katniss wearing the dress she wears in Snow's mansion.
Yes.
I remember sending it to you, and you were
shoulder.
like, that is so fake. Yeah. That is so, like, photoshopped. And I remember whenever I still come out, I was like, oh shit, that is... Oh god, I did it again. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm pretty sure people don't care.
Yeah. They're over 18.
They're over it already.
Yeah. But anyway, that actually was the dress, and you thought it was...
And the mug was really dodgy.
I've been wrong on several occasions about leaks.
Yeah. It looked photoshopped, though. It didn't look like a real dress.
It looked really bad.
But that was months ahead.
Yeah.
So, I don't know who got that picture.
Why is someone doing that this time? Come on.
Yes, leaks.
Come on, MSN employees or Yahoo employees or.
Well, to be fair, we did
get. And I remember that day though. It was like was it like the day before or something that it came out? And I remember, Crystal, that we were talking on Skype. We were chatting on Skype, and it was like, no, that's gotta be fake. And we were both so like looking at it like, nah, that's totally a fake. And then the next day it's like, damn.
I know, it's just like, what?
What? I love that we'll be so jaded now. They'll release the real trailer and we'll just be like, nah, it's a fake.
It's fan made.
I mean, fan made trailers, and as we know from Joshua films, they're pretty good. So we might have
pretty good.
Sarah's call was amazing.
Okay, so we have one more TweetTalk question from Kelly Wise. She asks, how do you think the former capital citizens will be portrayed, such as Cressida? Accents, culturally, will they be half capital and half D13?
The thing with accents, just pick up on accents real quick, is that it seems to be only Effie has the accent.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just American.
Well, I'm gonna guess that Natalie Dormer is going to keep her accent. I don't know. I just
one thing I noticed in the first film. Oh yeah, no, but like one thing in the first film, Effie had her accent for probably only the first quarter of the movie, and then it disappeared.
Yeah, I noticed that.
If you guys noticed that,
yeah,
because I watched it so many times, and then in the second one she had it, but I noticed that she just dropped it halfway through.
Yeah, it was a little
just had less lines, though. I figured that she just had less lines, so we didn't hear her speak as much.
But yeah.
And as for them being half capital, half D13, I don't think they're going to be in District 13 long enough to pick up any kind of accent there or anything like that. So I think they would just stick with capital accents, and it'll help them stick out more.
I figure these are people who came in with Plutarch, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they've been there for that long. Not really.
But other than that, I hope they have like a culture shock kind of thing. Because they've never been to a district before, they've never had to struggle or ration and things like that. So I hope they're a little bit disheveled and really finding it difficult to come to terms with not being able to eat when you want and be free when you want.
I would like it to be the opposite, actually, because we're already going to see that with Effie, and we know because Nina and Francis said it that she's going to have that culture shock from being in 13 and being stripped down from her usual. So I would like to see like Cressida and her team be the ones who actually just snap and adapt right away, and they are
I think so.
Badass like that.
That's a good point, I suppose. Yeah, I quite like that.
Well, I always got the impression that Cressida and whatever would have had to have been in 13 pre-existing for some time. Mm-hmm. At least maybe from the start of that quarter quell. Because they say they've already got their plans of, who they can pick up later on. And so, I always got that impression that their rebellion machine was kind of in full motion.
So who other than Cressida would be from district or be from the capital, though? I mean...
Masala and...
Masala, the
technically, the Avox.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Technically.
I reckon even Jackson and whatever might be. Maybe are they ex?
I don't know. I mean, Boggs is from 13. I would
Boggs is 13.
Boggs is from 13, right? So I would have assumed that Jackson would have been from the districts.
Jackson's 13.
Yeah. No, I think it'll just be like the camera crew. The rest of them, they're all 13 or district.
Yeah, that's true. And we're
I'm
missing
so
Fulvia
excited.
because she's really in Cressida's role.
I'm so excited to see how they film like Cressida and the camera crew following around
Oh
Katniss.
God,
I'm
yeah.
really, really
Yeah.
excited with that and how they're going to edit those propaganda films together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're wonderful.
Especially after we did Through the Pages for chapter 8, because that's the first chapter 8, no, chapter 7, because that's the first time where Katniss and I think even Gale like looks at them and he's like, oh, they're starting to grow on me because they're actually badass, when they're in the field. So I really want to see that.
Same here, just ducking out from behind a vent or something.
Yeah. Totally.
I still want, like I said, with Through the Pages, I want Cressida to set Katniss up for the "You burn with us" line.
Yeah.
Because that's where they build some trust and stuff too between those two characters. And that, I just wonder how they're going to. I mean, now that they have more time to actually give more focus to the minor characters, how they're going to like distinguish it. Because Cressida is, I kind of like her. We don't know much about her, but I tend to like her more because she interacted more with Katniss. But then there's like Masala. He doesn't. We don't really know much about him. So it's pretty good to actually have him distinguish himself from Cressida and not just be like one of the crew. So yeah, that's true.
I look forward to that. I hope they do that.
Yeah, it's actually really cool to think that we were reading and predicting and talking about this particular chapter when it's possible that at the same time they were actually filming that or had just filmed it. I mean,
hence Francis Lawrence should read your notes and go, we should put that in.
Well, I mean, I think we all basically said you have to put this in verbatim or else.
Yeah.
The
whole chapter, just take it and put it in.
Exactly.
I think there's a high chance that they're going to do that because they did it in Catching Fire. I mean, I remember, Kira, you were the first one who saw the movie, and when I asked you to tell me how it was, that was like the first thing you told me. Like, there were several scenes that were just verbatim from the book.
Yeah, that was.
And I was so excited.
People ask me, it's verbatim. Almost every dialogue scene's just completely identical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was so surprised.
I'm hoping they're going to do the same with Mockingjay.
Well,
I mean, they have the time now.
That's a testament to Suzanne Collins' writing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Or some scenes weren't in there verbatim because they would have been awful verbatim. Sorry.
Yeah.
She's not without cheese.
Yeah. You can't do that with everything. But
I know most people were crying that whole Katniss Peeta rooftop scene wasn't in there, but I was thanking the heavens because I thought it was awful. I mean, it's really good in the book. It just will not translate.
I didn't really miss it.
I did want it.
I wanted the roof, but not necessarily the dialogue. Like, I just wanted to see them have one last moment together by choice.
It's in there. It's in there. They're just in their room.
It's bad, but it was really
there, but it's not given a lengthy piece of time. But it's there, and the sunset is there, so you should be happy.
I'm much happier than most other fangirls, I guess. But I get them in a sense.
If fangirls were making this movie, it would just be a 2-hour cookery show with Peeta. It's a terrible idea.
That could be at the theme park.
Oh God! Yeah, that would be the most popular attraction.
Yeah.
Let's go eat at Millark's Bakery.
Yeah. Oh God, that would be really bad. By the way, now that I think about it, because I keep thinking to the Harry Potter theme park, and I'm like, okay, it was kind of cool because then they had like old British food for the most part, like in the restaurants, and then I'm thinking, God, what are they going to do for the Hunger Games theme park?
Soiled by rats.
On the one hand, you have like the capital food, should be interesting, but I mean, if you try to have district food, like that's kind of the point. They have none. That's why it's called Hunger Games.
They're going to put out job ads for a really nasty baker's wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
Willing to hit kids.
Yep.
The thing with Harry Potter, though, is everyone wants to go to Hogwarts and Diagon Alley and, and Hogsmeade. Everyone wants to go there and drink butterbeer. Yep. No one wants to go to Panem.
No.
It's
not really.
I mean, nobody should want to go to Panem.
Yeah.
No.
Because I know there's people out there who do want to go, and I'm just like, why?
It sounds awful.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap up. We've meandered long enough.
On that note.
Just as a conclusion, Lionsgate, we want a trailer and we want it soon. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we burn Twitter to the ground.
Give us something to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to thank Joshua for joining us. Once again, good luck, and we'll put up links to your site and things like that. So.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on. It was fun.
And to everyone else, thank you for listening to episode 5 of JabberCast. Be sure to visit us at our website, www.Jabberjays.net. You can follow us on Twitter at @HDJabberjays. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Jabberjays.net. And we're also on Instagram at Jabberjays.net. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.